Right then.
Right then, evening all.
Hello. So many people in the comments already, so thank you guys for getting here. Barbara P beat Sean. Just. So.
Sean, you're going to have to dock your wages this week, mate.
So Barbara's quite right saying, if you've got a question for us, please start it with the word question so we can spot it through all the comments. But Sean was here early too and saying exactly the same. So thanks for that, Sean. Great to see you here. Ken's here as well. Ken's just back from seeing the Northern Lights. So, and he's live next Wednesday. So we're looking forward to hearing all about that, Ken. I can't remember which ship you were on. Was it Aurora? Do let us know. But I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts, because it's pretty special when you do a Northern Lights cruise, isn't it? So lots of lovely messages here saying that we're better. We are, thank God. It's taken us, last Thursday when we did our live and I had that tickly cough, I was thinking, hang on a minute. And then when we got off, I thought, you know what? We felt really quite rough, didn't we? And we put it down to jet lag. But I thought, you know what? I'm going to do a test. And there, behold, COVID had entered.
That famous phrase, there and behold. And you can tell it's affected her talking, because she's literally now been talking for almost 2 minutes without a breath.
But anyway, for all those who send us lovely messages, we're much better. In fact, the whole week's been a bit of a blur because we've just been sleeping just random times, isn't it? We think we're trying to stay awake, but we couldn't because we were just nodding off. But last night was our first night that we had a normal night's sleep.
Proper night's sleep. But obviously, we all know that it's Emma Letitia's fault, and she gave it us
through the medium of,
I think it was a Zoom call, wasn't it? She gave it us on a Zoom call. No, that was this week. No, it was the week before. We watched her live feed and then we caught it off her. So,
exactly.
So just be careful. So if you are watching this and you're worried that we've still got COVID, you might want to put a mask on.
Dear. So Andrew and Rachel here, so thank you so much, South Gloucestershire.
South Gloucestershire. Now, are we talking that you're sort of Thornbury way? Is that I'd love to know whereabouts in South Gloucestershire.
So, and first question's in with Rhonda. So Rhonda's one of our members. So lovely to see you here, Rhonda. Paul, are you coming to San Diego to watch Man United versus Wrexham?
Well, I'd love to come to San Diego because two of my besties live there.
Yes, Bob and Holly are there.
And Holly. But I wouldn't go and watch Man United if they were in our back garden. If they were playing in our back garden now, I'd draw the curtains.
Well, unless they were playing against Tottenham.
But yeah, I mean, if they're losing to Tottenham, which is not very likely, but I would go and watch Wrexham. Because you never know, because Ryan Reynolds might be there. Deadpool himself. So
I know.
That makes it worse.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, he's invested in, I don't know if he's bought it outright or has he invested?
Him and Rob McElhone, who's he's in a program, or he wrote a program called It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia or something. He's been about for a long time. He's on the other side of the camera than Ryan Reynolds. But
Ryan Reynolds, I go and watch Wrexham just to see Ryan Reynolds because he's quite a tasty fella. But there we are. And by the way, our garden isn't big enough to have either on there anyway.
But just to say, Rhonda, my father has been a Man United fan since the late 50s.
Yes, he has.
And I still speak to him, so don't feel bad about mentioning Man United in our live feed.
So we've got here Mooman 547 on Island Princess in October. Any must-dos in Copenhagen or Bruges?
Copenhagen, we couldn't possibly tell you because we've never been. But Bruges or Zeebrugge or Bruges, if you're Canadian and your name's Jill.
No.
We did an excursion and we had a fabulous time, to be honest. So I would do an excursion.
Well, if you haven't been, sorry to interrupt, because it's very easy to navigate on your own. We went there and did an excursion because we wanted to just make sure we didn't miss the main spots. But it's beautiful.
Yes, it is.
So we did like just a walking tour, didn't we?
Great food, great pubs.
Yes.
We had some bought some chocolate. Obviously, you've got to buy some chocolate while you're there. And the great thing is, you go into the chocolate shops, which there are loads, and they give you free samples.
Yeah, we had a meal out, and you chose poorly again because I chose the Belgian stew, which if you ever get a chance to have it is, if you like stews and meat, it was absolutely tasty. My bowl came out and it was this lovely stew, and Paul went, guess for a change, fish and chips, which is a go-to meal, and it was very average, wasn't it?
What I can say is, then, what surprised me about when Carole said that is what she usually says when she's mocking me is saying, Paul chose fish and chips. Because that's what she does when she mocks me.
But no,
Yeah,
Bruges, have a wonderful time there. Like I said, we'd love to get to Copenhagen, but Bruges is beautiful. It can get really busy, can it? Really,
I've heard
really
that Copenhagen is wonderful. Wonderful.
Yes.
Copenhagen.
So Tina's here, and Andy and Carl is here. So great to see you all. No, we're all good. And Alf is here saying, good evening, youngsters. Paulie was on our last live. That was funny.
I'm going to officially, even though Alfie knows, because he knows I love him, and even though he knows it was a slip of the tongue and I didn't mean to be mean, I said something about Ode and implied that it was Alfie,
Yes.
But it wasn't.
No,
because he's a lovely man.
he is.
But your message you sent me, I had to read it about 3 times.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, what does that mean? And then when the penny finally dropped, nobody else knows what I'm talking about. This is just for you, Alfie. When the penny dropped, I must admit I did burst out laughing.
Yeah, it was funny. So Dav Cat Travels here. We've been chatting hi there. We've been chatting about the Insta360. Because you've just bought one, which is great. Paul's just going through all the footage that we took. It's a brilliant bit of kit in it, Paulie.
It's great, but I need now to never go on another cruise just to try and do something with the footage I got.
Exactly. But you could get some really unique angles, can't you?
It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And what we love about it is you can just hold it up, take a video, and then just look at the footage, and you can have a portrait photo, a landscape photo. So
you never have to worry about missing a photo opportunity.
Exactly.
Again. If you're videoing, you can get any angle, because that's what it's called, a 360. It videos everything all around you, and you just get to the image you want. You pause it on your device, and then you can take a snapshot and it goes straight to your phone.
Exactly that. So I hope you enjoy playing with it. So I think you're on Virtuosa soon, isn't it? I remember you saying. So it'll be good to experiment. That's a beautiful ship, so I'm sure you'll get some fab shots.
Great
on
for
there.
Getting some good shots of the ceiling, isn't it?
Yeah, the LED, the main. What do you call it on there?
Yeah, the jobber,
main jobber.
The jobber down the middle. Yeah.
Jack's here, so nice to see you, Jack, and Carole and Chris, so lovely. And Sean said he was here 2 hours ago.
But there was nobody to talk to, so Sean didn't bother to say anything.
So yeah, so Ken says it was the Aurora. I just heard, and that they are, because we've always wanted to go on Aurora because we know it's a favourite ship of so many people. And I was worried that P&O were going to sell. That was going to be the next thing that they were going to sell after they get rid of Oceania. But I've heard, and correct me if we're right, that they're actually What's the matter?
Correct me if I'm right. Where do you get these phrases from?
I don't know. Let me know. But I'm sure that they have said that they're now investing and they are upgrading and doing all the refurbs for Aurora and Arcadia.
Yes, that is true.
Yes, so
it is true, because I've read it in lots of different places. I think the Cruise Monkeys put it on.
Read stuff?
Yes, I read stuff. Because I don't want to beat about the table. I'm just doing mixed metaphors now, like you, for the rest of the night.
But yes, so we definitely want to get an Aurora.
And obviously, so Ken went to see the Aurora Borealis on the Aurora.
Oh yes.
See what I did.
Andrew Dresser, who's the best and worst customer relations on board? Not going there. We've had lots of good experiences with guest relations.
I mean, when you're in the ideal situation, it means you never have to speak to them ever.
Exactly. But, Jerry's here, so nice to see you, Jerry. And Alistair saying, so jealous of you on a adventures. Hope you're feeling better. Yes, we are. So
is Alistair a doctor?
Alistair who? Oh.
No, who?
Oh, dear. So let's just have a look down here just to make sure I'm not missing anything.
Kathy's in the chat.
Kathy's in the chat. Hey! I'm in Copenhagen and Vet Night. Oh, what's a Vet Night?
I don't know. I don't like the sound of that.
In July, are you on Celebrity? So we've missed a few bits there. Oh, I see Alfie's saying that they'll be stopping overnight in Copenhagen in July. Oh, fab. So you can let us know all about it. And obviously, but I think Kathy's going before then. Kathy's going on ambassador, if I'm correct, aren't I, Kathy? So be interested to see what you think of that. And I look forward to you. We've got in our Patreon and you our YouTube members, we've got a Discord chat, which is a room that I love. We chat with all our members there, and I can't wait to hear Kathy's response. We get everyone to share all their cruising experiences with us, which is lovely. So we can't wait to hear your report from that, Kathy, because that'll be, I'm sure, very enlightening. Neil's asking, how do you find the editing software for the 360? I heard it can be a bit of a challenge.
Well, my experience is very limited because I'm learning every day. But what is like, it was only probably 2 weeks ago that I realized you could slow things down, speed things up. You can do picture in picture. But so with me every day, I'm getting on with it all right, I must admit. But somebody who's far more technically minded than me, I expect they could rattle around and do stuff and it'd be spectacular. But every time you go onto the app, there's a tutorial on it, and at some point I ought to watch that because I never have. So I'm a sort of the master of my own downfall. Now, what Carole would make that metaphor into, I don't know.
I'm not saying.
But yes, so it's all right, but I need to like at least watch the editorial towards that, because you don't really get you don't get an instructions book. You get a thing, you scan it, and something comes on, but it's updating all the time. So
yeah, you haven't tried it on the PC yet, have you? But
no.
that's the next stage, which Jerry from the Cruising Canucks has had his a bit longer than yours, and he was showing us on his laptop, and that looks, I think, with you've got sort of sausage fingers sometimes, haven't you? So you get frustrated when you can't do stuff on your phone because the phone's not big enough. You need a big phone or a laptop.
I need a phone like Dom Jolly's got.
Exactly.
I'm in the library.
So we got another question here from Clarissa. I go to you better. What ship would you say has the most impressive atrium? Ooh.
Marco Polo, CMB.
Impressive atrium. Do you know, one of my favourite atriums, I'm not saying it's the most impressive, is Marella Discovery. The Discovery ships with Marella have this very functional and happy. It is a happy atrium because so much goes on there. There's always music and acts on this big staircase, and they've got the lifts that are all coloured that go up and down. I love the Marella Discovery atrium.
Because this isn't a tangent, because we're talking about atriums. We've obviously just come back off the Carnival Celebration, and that ship apparently is the same ship as the P&O Iona. But how
ship design.
Yeah, ship design.
Yeah.
How they've made use of the atrium is an absolute joy to see. It's spectacular. And the the Carnival Celebration, and they say, oh, the atrium's the heart of the ship, blah 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 blah, and all this, and they have properly made it the heart of the ship, because on what they've done on the Iona is they've got some restaurants there, they got some bars.
It's
there.
pretty on Iona, isn't it?
And it's very pretty, but the general gist of things is people sit in there and they read a book and they look out the window, and it's a massive 3 or 4 decks high that really hasn't got much of a function apart from.
I think it's got a lot of little nice areas around where people can sit quietly if they want to, or they have to eat. But it's not a sort of where there's for the size, entertainment normally.
But for the size of it, I never really felt. I've been on there a couple of times. Well, yeah, this is all right, isn't it? But when you go onto the Carnival Celebration, you see what they've done, and they've made it almost like the pinnacle of the entertainment. They have shows every night. They have the bingo in there. They have quizzes in there, they do this, they do that, and every time you go in there it's packed, and you realize then how much P&O have missed a trick on.
I think because of the 3-story glass windows on Carnival Celebration drops down with these huge LED screens, and it's fabulous.
It's amazing.
It does seem a much better use of space.
But that's still not answering your question at all.
No,
but I was going to say, something like, because one of the Princess ships are fabulous, the atriums are fabulous, but I go back to when there's no entertainment in the atriums on the princess ships, it is a sort of a bit of a sit around, do nothing, but there aren't enough seats in there generally.
It's just noise.
It's just noise. Whereas, as soon as Carole said, "Oh, Morella," and I thought, yeah, because that's fabulous, because like there's always something going on there, and they utilize it really well. And plus, it is very, very pretty.
It is.
But
princess ships, the piazza, when you walk onto a princess ship, the first thing you normally walk into is the piazza, and it's that wow moment, because it is fantastic. So, yeah.
And what I can't believe is she didn't even pick a Cunard ship.
Well, they don't really have atriums, do they?
Well,
they have pretty. Well, they do have an atrium. I guess the Queen Mary is quite impressive, but when you compare it to the others, we love the Cunard ships. They're beautiful, but I wouldn't say, oh, that atrium's brilliant. So Morris is asking if we've been to Honfleur. No, we haven't, but I'd like to do that because you go down. It's like more like a bit of a river cruise, isn't it? So let us know which ship you're going to be on with that then, Morris, because that's that would be good. Tom and Dom's in the house. Nice to see you guys.
We're seeing them, aren't we?
Yes. Well,
are we seeing you on the weekend, Tom and Dom?
We're going away the weekend to Cardiff to meet up some blogger friends.
We're out of the country again.
Yes.
And I'm getting very concerned because the vast majority of the people there are Welsh.
No.
Which is concerned. We're going to be the only...
Lizzie Lou's from South
Africa.
Yes, that's not Wales.
So there's only going to be me, you, and Tristan. They're the only English people there. We're going to be outnumbered.
But we're catching up with some blogging friends. We're looking forward to that. So new, because we have some we've met and some we haven't. So we're looking forward to having a bit of fun in Cardiff. So Signet's asking, can you say hello to Matt, who's off on a cruise? Any tips for Arvia, please? Hi, Signet. Hello, Matt. Have a great cruise. We haven't got tips for Arvia, but I tell you who has got tips for Arvia is the Cruise Monkeys have just putting out their vlog series, and they've just been on Arvia. There's a lot of information out there about Arvia, and it looks a beautiful, beautiful ship. We've got a lot of P&O information on our website. So if you just go Paul and Carole love to travel.com P&O, and you can find out all about the drinks packages, the laundry, the spa, if you want to know all that sort of things. But we definitely recommend you to have a look at the Cruise Monkeys.
Check out the Monkeys, who we're also meeting on the weekend.
Yes. So, oh my God.
It's going to be messy.
It's going to be messy.
And we're getting there 2 hours before everybody else.
Oh, dear. Alice is asking, Doctor Who again, do you think Carnival was disproportionately expensive as a UK cruiser? The cost of the cruise, no, but on board, yes. Because the drinks package was a rip-off. We didn't get our money's worth at all. And tax.
Tax to that.
Yeah. So I think if you're taking a Carnival cruise, you can get some decent deals. But be prepared to budget for quite a few £100 more to cover unexpected costs.
Yeah,
we'll cover it all in our vlog series, which will be coming out. That's once we've done Azamara. That's our next.
Have I done drinks post?
Not yet. No.
Oh, no,
we're doing some Iona videos, and then we're going to be jumping straight into Carnival.
Yeah. But I will be doing a thing about all the drinks price and stuff, and the drinks package. But the trouble is, obviously you're an adult, you can make your own decisions. But when I click, this is how much it is, then you click on it, and all of a sudden it's gone up another $150 gratuitous. I've never known a drinks package that they quote. I don't even know how they're allowed to get away with it, because it's false advertising, basically. If they say it's 400 quid, it should be 400 quid. It shouldn't be 400 quid, and then you click the button and it's 500 quid, which is what it is on theirs. And then you think, so you have a show off like me and do a Monio Paulie Morgan about it. And then when you get on the ship and then you start getting charged for stuff, and it's like, when I'm on the drinks package, mate, that's tax, that is. And the bloke on reception just, that's
he
tax.
Was lovely.
And he was lovely, but he looked at me and said, it's tax. I said, what do you mean it's tax? I got the drinks package. Yeah, it's tax.
It's a very much an American thing,
so
isn't
you still haven't finished paying. So it's the... I absolutely loved our time on the Carnival. It was absolutely fantastic. Fun. The entertainment was great. Loads of great areas. It was bonkersly busy, admittedly, but it was fabulous. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I definitely do another one. But obviously now I'm pre-warned about, don't ever think you've paid for something. There'll always be a little add-on.
Exactly. But that's like the same in America, isn't it?
Yeah.
But anyway.
And what I love is, and this is a slight tangent, is when you buy anything in America, especially going out for a meal, or even if you get a beer, For your convenience, we've added an 18% gratuity. Oh, well, thanks for that, mate.
Yeah, I know.
I'm over the
For your
moon. All you've done
convenience.
is go like that and pass it over to me, and I've got to give you like £7 for that.
Anyway, let's get back to the questions. So
Anyway, keep smiling.
Davey is asking, hello from Orlando. We have a transatlantic in October on 70 from Southampton to Fort Lauderdale. How far from our London hotel to the port? Southampton is a fair way from London. We've never
2
done
hours?
that drive.
Approximately 2
Yeah,
hours.
if anyone's done that, but it is people say, go to Southampton to visit London. I think it's probably about an hour and a half away. So it's not, and it's not easy. Well, it is easy to get to because there's trains and stuff that you can get.
But the thing is, as well, with London, especially with, I'm getting all political now. The Lord Mayor of London now is extending his ultra low emission zone. So basically, if you drive anywhere in England, you have to give him like a tenner.
No,
so
it's not quite that bad, but
so
get in there.
It's going to be difficult to if you're staying in central London, you won't be able to have a car in central London, or you're unlikely to be able to have one because you'll get charged on the ULEZ fee. But train wise, I just thought it's pretty straightforward to get a train. But I would say I'm going to Google it after.
Or someone in the comments has done it. Let us know.
I reckon 2 hours.
I reckon it's an hour and a half. See who's closest. So let's see. Dav Catcher was saying, what if they were losing? We're going to lose 7-0. You still wouldn't watch them, Man United.
Oh, that did cheer me up. I'll tell you what.
Oh dear. So Kathy's asking, do you need a Wi-Fi package sailor in the UK? If you want to use your phone, Kathy, when you're at sea, yes, you will. But when we've done British Isles cruising, we just use our 4G when we get to port. So, but you can't use your 4G on the ship because you're then obviously.
Well, as long as your 4G is, if you're close enough to the coast that you're.
Yeah, but remember to turn it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and news just in, it's if you go via the M3, it's 1 hour and 50 from London to Southampton.
76 miles.
It's 2 hours via M4, M3, and it's 2 hours 6 minutes via A3. So I would say that my guess of 2 hours was pretty closest. Good.
Suppose. Yes. So yeah.
That news was brought to you by Google. Other search engines are available.
Cunard versus Holland America. Which do you prefer and why? Well, this is quite a difficult one because we've done a lot of Cunard and we've only done one Holland America on a Vista class ship. So, which we thoroughly enjoyed on Holland America. But if you compare it to Cunard on the ships that we've been on with them, then we would say Cunard. Well, I would say Cunard. But we are going to be going on a Pinnacle class Holland America ship later in the year, which I am looking forward to because it's a more modern version, which I think will suit your Paul's entertainments.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Sorry, I just have to wipe my nose.
But Cunard, from a beautiful ship point of view, Cunard wins hands down. But Holland America ship definitely reminded us of Cunard ships.
There's a Cunardian likeness, definitely.
Yes.
But like I said, where Holland America fell down on the ship we went on, which was an older, smaller ship, was the entertainment they had was fantastic, but there wasn't enough variety. Whereas on Cunard, the entertainment is also fantastic. And if you go back and watch some of our vlogs that we've done about Cunard, there was one particular night, and at one time in the evening, there were 7 lots of live entertainment going on the same ship. And when you think of the size of the ship, we're not talking about a ship that holds 8,000 passengers.
This was the same size as the Vista. They're both Vista classes.
Both Vista class.
That was Queen Elizabeth.
So that's where Cunard's edging it. But like I said, when we go on this newer, bigger ship,
it'll be interesting.
Ask us again.
Yeah.
Ask us again in August or whenever we're back.
July.
But at the moment, Cunard.
So let's see. Joe and Jim are here, so lovely to see Joe and Jim, our members too. So are you planning to do any merchandise? Yes, we've been having some conversations with a supplier, and we're trying to work out exactly how we're going to implement this, because we've had so many messages and we never really thought that anyone would want anything with Paul and Carole Love to Travel on.
I spoke to a friend. I've been dealing with a man now in the motor trade. I've known him for 30 odd years, and I was with him today, so we were dropping some cars off. So yeah, I do book some work now and again. And I told him about we're looking into some merchandise, and he burst out laughing. And he said, "Who the bloody hell would want to buy anything with Paul and Carole Love to Travel written on it?" I said, "Well, as it turns out, there are quite a few people at the minute." So and he was horrified.
So yes, we are. So we will keep you posted with that once we've got a phone conversation. Once we're back from Cardiff, we're just going to have we're old fashioned, you know, with us emailing and texting. Just pick up the phone and have a chat, innit?
Yes.
And let's just get talking. So let's have a look. Catherine's here. Hi, Catherine. Evening, both. Thinking of booking a Caribbean cruise next February. Any itineraries you would recommend or any places to avoid? Best cruise line for this. Right. Well, we had a fantastic itineraries on both our Carnival and our Holland America.
Sorry, I got such a runny
nose. Just come on all of a sudden.
I'm so poorly.
We've always wanted to get to the ABC Islands, which is Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire. Didn't get to Bonaire, and if you can get to those islands, not many itineraries do it, and they were beautiful, weren't they?
Beautiful.
Aruba was just like wow, and I'd love to go there for a land-based holiday. We also did St. Martin, and we did San Juan, and we also did Amber Cove, which were all great ports, weren't they? I
don't want to pass the buck because I can't remember exactly what she said, but when we did our Paul and Carole Meets the Cruising Canucks, Jill perfectly summed up the best places to go and the places to avoid in the Caribbean. But I can't, because there is some place in the Caribbean where if you went out on your own to do your own thing, you wouldn't feel as safe.
You need to do your research. And from what we can gather from our experience from many years ago, this was the first time we've been back for since 2018. You do feel that the further west you go, the more that you feel that you need to maybe go on an excursion rather than self-explore. The places we went on which was the Eastern Caribbean, we felt very comfortable to do our own thing. And so
you wouldn't hesitate to the places we went to.
Yeah.
You wouldn't say you had an overnighter, you wouldn't hesitate to go out. But there has been some places that I've been to in the Caribbean, and you're thinking like, no, I don't want to go out. I wouldn't want to go out unless there was a gang of about 10 of you.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And best cruise line for this, it depends on all cruise lines go to the Caribbean, so it depends on what you want out of a ship. So do you want a ship that has fantastic food? Do you want lively entertainment? Do you want a small ship that has very quiet and you just want to sit and read? So you need to just what do you enjoy and then do your research on that.
So really look at itineraries and then look at who does that. I tell you, like, I never look at cruises, but I just now and again I read stuff. But Arvia are doing some mega good deals on going to the Caribbean.
Yeah, they are.
Really, really good deals. It's like bonkers how good their deals are. Yeah. But I don't know. I haven't looked at itineraries. But
I tell you what, we use, I know what we've said before, but we use a great travel agent called Dan. And Dan is this font of knowledge. He's done 80 cruises, is that?
He told me, I think he said he's done 77.
So he's done loads. So he not only sells cruises, but he knows his stuff. And whenever I've got questions that we're not sure of, then he's the man I ask. So we're more than happy to share Dan because he's such a fantastic guy.
Share him.
So if you want his details, just look in the description below on all our videos and you'll find them. And you can just send him a message and he's very responsive. He doesn't keep people waiting around, which we've had in the past, haven't we? Which has been frustrating. So I would definitely pick Dan's brains too. It's a cruise line is off to the fjords. Oh, we love the fjords. And 6 weeks of packing is a bit difficult. Yes, it is, because it can be 4 seasons in one day. So we just say just take layers, and what can't go far wrong, can you really, with Norway?
The problem is we went to Norway 3 times last year. That's how much we love it. And every time we went, the weather was absolutely bonkersly hot. So we took layers and we took jumpers and we better take a jacket. And every day we went out, or virtually every day we went out without fail, was shorts and T-shirts. And it was like unheard of. We went years ago on Morella, which was still one of our favourite cruises, which obviously what I'm going to say now, you'll think why. But some of the weather we had like a force 9, whatever. We went out one day. We went on an excursion one day. We got on the bus, and it was just you got a ticket into town, and it was like an half-an-hour journey into town. And we got on the bus, and by the time we got to the town, it was raining so hard that we didn't even get off the bus.
We just stayed on the bus.
But when we got to the bus stop, there was about 200 people who were drowned rats waiting to get back on the bus.
Yeah.
And the bus driver wouldn't let them get on unless there was a seat. So the doors opened and about 100 people got on. There was like 40 seats. And he just stood up. He said, look, I can't even pull away until everybody sat down.
Exactly.
So about 45 of these people had to get back off into the rain.
Alfie's off on Arvia. Yes,
there
go. Are some. Yeah. So yeah.
Alfie knows he's wise. He is. I said wise. Nothing else. I didn't say nothing else.
Sean's just hit the like button. Yes, thank you, Sean. If you're enjoying our chat, give us a thumbs up because it's YouTube likes that and it helps us to grow our channel. And any comments after the chat, if you're watching this afterwards, which we never say actually, please just put a little comment below because that helps us. If
you're watching this afterwards, please don't vote because your vote, you still might be charged. Oh no, that's
vote.
Oh, I thought I was watching I'm a Celebrity. Get me out of here.
Right then, let's suss out the next question. So we talked about that. Karen saying Wrexham has a mention. My hometown, we love him, Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, I bet you are. Imagine bumping him on a cruise. Oh yes. You might bump it in the high street then in Wrexham.
Well, he's always there.
Well, I guess so. Yeah. Well, I guess he works too.
I don't think he has to work because he's just sold. He bought some shares in a communications company, which he's just sold, and he just got like I think he got like $1 billion for it. So I don't think he has to work. I think he could buy not just Wrexham Football Club. I think he could buy Wrexham.
Yeah. Ken's got some tips for Copenhagen here, so thanks, Ken. We've been to Copenhagen several times. Canal trip, visit the Carlsberg Brewery.
Oh, what a surprise that was, Ken, eh?
A trip to Tivoli Gardens are all good. Don't forget the Little Mermaid.
Scarily, Ken, we've got a place called Tivoli Gardens in Cheltenham.
We have.
It's probably better. It's not as good as the Copenhagen one.
No, it's nice though. Christine is asking, what do you know about the ETIAS system that all UK travellers need to register on before 2024?
Well, absolutely nothing, as it turns out. So I've never heard of it.
So if anyone's got any information about that, please enlighten us. So Paul's going to do a bit of Google now because that's
see what my friend on here knows about it.
So let's say
ETIAS. Oh, it's a visa.
Katie's there. So hi, Katie. Hello, Paul. And again, I met you with Ken and Lindsay. We got very emotional on our short hop 2021. Short hop. Andrew's saying steak and frites in the Grand Plaza in Bruges. That's a good idea. Laurie's saying hit the thumbs up button. So thank you for that. And Cruise Life saying yes, you get unexpected footage on the 360, which is exactly that, isn't it?
You do,
and you could just move it around and think, oh my god, I would never have thought of taking a photo in that position. So that's really good. Yes, and Dark Cat Travel's gone on Virtuoso 46 days. And Alfie's saying you're a lovely chap too.
Yeah.
So let's have a look.
Apparently, it's all non-EU citizens, which obviously the UK is now, will have to apply to an ETIAS visa. It's online and it only takes a few minutes to complete.
Okay.
And it's
valid for 3 months.
Yeah, it's limited to 90 days.
Okay. That's another thing.
So it doesn't sound like.
Well, thank you for bringing that up, Christine, because that's really useful. Kathy's asking, is a maiden voyage really that terrible to consider? Now, there's huge controversy with this. We've never thought about it in the past, but we've now booked 2. And the reason we didn't do it in the past was because often it would get changed, or it's never guaranteed a maiden voyage, and it's never guaranteed that everything's going to be up and running as slick as it should be. So that's why a lot of people avoid them. Now, if you're like a particular cruise line, like we do, like we're booked on the Maiden for Morella, and we're booked on the Maiden for Queen Anne. So they're two cruise lines that we love. So we feel quite comfortable that we're going to go on it. We're going with an open mind, and we know that those dates can be fluid because already Queen Anne's been put back. For it was originally January 2024. It's now May. So I think as long as you have that easygoing approach, then why not?
Yeah, it's the time constraints. I mean, obviously, Kathy, you're a lady of leisure like Carole is. So, I mean, there's no time constraints.
Do you hear that, Kathy?
Whereas I'm, out there nose to the grindstone all the time. The problem, so if you're working and you've booked that time off, it's like people who work in like supermarkets and that sort of stuff. It's so difficult to get time off. So if you book that time off and then they move it, you're knackered basically. And I know there was a situation with Arvia where loads of people booked the Maiden on Arvia, paid like bananas money for it, and then it got moved. Yeah. Now, I don't know. I'd love to. I'm going to throw this out here now because I don't know the answer. So they moved the Maiden from Arvia like back a month because they said, oh, it was like 3 weeks or a month or whatever. So when they moved it back, if that cruise is fully booked, what do they do with the people that's booked the Maiden? Do they then say to the people...
Well, everyone gets shifted.
Yeah. So do they then say to the people... And
some will be cancelled.
Oh, you were booked on that Arvia 4 weeks after it comes out. Well, you're not now because we're moving all the people off the Maiden. So then that puts all the people that booked the Maiden in a situation, and then all the people that was booking 4 weeks later in a situation. So I'd love to know what the logistics of all that is. I've got no answers, but I just put in a question out.
Brits on a Ship are here, and they've done 7 May voyages. They love them. And that's a really good point, Sandra, is going glass half full. It won't be perfect on a Maiden, but the excitement of being the first paid passengers wins hand down. Yes, I think that totally sums it up.
Or for Brits on a Ship, the excitement of being the first people to win a quiz on there.
Because they always win.
Because they always win.
If you like winning quiz,
takes
you need
it all.
Yeah. Oh, Lou's here. Hi, nice to see you, Lou. And Sean saying you missed all the Viking questions. No, you haven't. Lovely. But yeah, if you've got Lou, if I go back to Lou, he's loves Viking and he's done loads. So if you've got any Viking questions, because we can't answer that, but Lou's here and he's very, very helpful.
I can't believe, Lou, I'm going to have to chastise you. We go live every Thursday at 7 o'clock UK time. So I don't want to hear your feeble excuses you didn't know.
No, he's been busy.
I don't know.
He's been busy.
We were sat downstairs. Carole was on the phone to one of her friends. Also, it was like, you realise it's 20 to 7, mate? And it's like, oh.
You, yes. Anyway, so Ken said, just saying about the ETIS relates to travel in Europe apparently from November, and John's put
it says 2024. It said on my.
It lasts for 3 years, so we need to look into that and get find out exactly what.
Yeah, maybe Google was lying to me.
Well, exactly. So let's just go back to. So let's see here. Andy and Carl Ryson, have you ever done a Northern Lights cruise? Got a cruise booked on Aurora in March. We have, and it was amazing. Emma's just been on one as well on Balete, actually, as it's pronounced, and her video's just gone out. She had an awful time with seasickness, but got to see the lights. Seeing the lights is just magical. So I would recommend book one. I'd love. Yeah. We actually had another one booked for next October, and because I want to see them again, but we've sat down and we've booked because we had so much booked. We need to be a little bit more thoughtful of how we're going forward. We've actually moved it, haven't we, to something else now. However,
but it is a banger.
It is an amazing, and there are some cruise lines that guarantee if you don't see them, you get your money back. So that's always a good tip. So on the bit to bet is asking, how many cabin stewards did you have on Holland? We're cruising the May. I'm trying to gauge how much for extra tips to bring. We had a fantastic cabin steward called Sugar, didn't we? We had an half balcony cabin on New Amsterdam, and he was brilliant. They do tell animals like Carnival do, but not like Carnival. We found them all on the deck the one day. Went out to the pool deck, and they're all sat on all the
But
lounges.
to answer his question, we only had one.
Yeah, we only had one, but he was spectacular.
And his name was Sugar, and his surname was Yes Please.
No, it wasn't. So
if anybody gets that reference, I'll be over.
Yes, I know that song. Yes, I'm not going to sing it. So we've thoroughly enjoyed our time on Holland America, didn't we, Paulie?
Yes.
It was good. So let's have a look. Andy and Kirsty are here. Hi, guys.
Hello.
We've been here from the start, but couldn't say hello because we've got our faces in an Indian takeaway. Oh, lovely. That's your favourite, isn't it, Paulie? You do like an Indian.
Well, do you know, I love Indian food. So you set me up, man. I got to finish it now. When I get an Indian takeaway, probably 50% of the time I'm disappointed. And whoever I have that takeaway with, they always choose better than me. But when I go out, I seem to choose better when I'm out than when I'm staying at home. Whereas a Chinese takeaway, we like the same thing, so we usually agree on.
Yeah, you always tend to go for like a lamb pasanda, don't you?
Yeah, I go too
and
sweet.
You go too, and then I go spicy.
Yeah, well,
so enjoy, guys. Let us know what you're having. Oh, Claire's here. Always lovely to see Claire. So yes, we are over COVID, thankfully. Charlotte's just saying. My husband's on my tablet watching something, and all he keeps saying is "bloody hell, Paul and Carole, you keep popping up on the screen."
We're everywhere now. We're actually starting. Is it Monday? On this morning, we're taking over from Holly and Phil. I've already got Schofield's air.
Oh dear. Janet's saying, "Glad you're both feeling better. We've been going on to Ireland 3 weeks' time on the right." Oh, lovely. We've been looking at your videos on Ireland. Yeah, we've got a lot of River Cruise information on our website, on our YouTube channel. So do check it out if you're considering river cruising, because it's very different. In fact, our one video that we put, things that you need to know about river cruising, just hit 70,000 views.
Yeah, it's going really well. Yeah.
So, but we loved our TUI cruise.
We did. We had a fab
time. We had a fab time. So have fun, Janet, because well, I'm sure you will. They do lots of quizzes too, don't they? TUI river cruises.
They do, yeah.
Moon was asking how many ideas your room should had to kick care of. We don't know in total, but he was always around, wasn't he?
He was always around. Yeah. And sometimes you could be 6, 7, 8 cabins down the corridor, because obviously we were staying right at the back. And he would be in there, so it wouldn't surprise me if it was a similar sort of amount. But he got to know quite quickly.
24 on Bliss, that's a lot.
Yeah, he got to know quite quickly that we weren't early morningers.
Exactly.
So he thought he'd always do ours last, I think.
So, Life of the Parks is here. So, hi, we are feeling better, thank you. And correct me, right, I'm thinking of doing. We're not thinking of doing a group cruise at this time.
Correct me. See what he did there?
Correct me if I'm right. Yes. Because you're doing another group cruise. We haven't done a group cruise yet. We did get asked.
We're going on a group cruise.
We are going on a group cruise.
We can't say any more about it than that, because I forgot that it's top secret. I don't know.
No, I've told the patrons and YouTube members now, so I'm happy to say.
Well, this is how it works. She tells the patrons and the YouTube members
first,
and then she does like Facebook and Instagram and all that sort of stuff, and then she tells me.
No, we would love to go on the Cruise Monkeys group cruise, but the dates didn't work out. And the Cruise and Connects have got a group cruise next February, but we're already booked. But we are booked for Gary Bembridge's group cruise, which is next. It's not till next September. Where we're going on Celebrity Eclipse, and we're going to New England. We're going from Boston all the way to Quebec, and he's just we're a member of Gary's, so we got first dibs, as members do, of booking that, and he's now opened that to email, and then he's going to open it to the general public. So, but we're looking forward to that, because that'll be. We wanted to do another celebrity, and we did the Edge class, which we loved on Beyond. We went on the Eclipse many years ago, just for 4 days, and we liked it, but we wanted to get back on that class of ship. So it was ticking. It was ticking. Obviously, cruising with Gary, which is always fun. Going to Canada and places we haven't been, and also the ship we wanted. So
what was it ticking, Annie?
All the boxes.
Oh yes, you got a metaphor right.
And Morris is going on the Balmoral. Oh, fab. Yes, small ship goes. Fred Olsen's does some really good itineraries, doesn't it? Really little quirky ones.
So I know there was like Outrage, because aren't they? Which is the one that goes through the Corinth Canal? Because aren't they selling that? And there's like
that's
Outrage.
Braemar. Yeah, that's a shame. Because we loved our time on the Braemar. Tom and Dom says Dom's Welsh and Tom's English.
Well, I've never met either of you, but Tom, you're my favourite.
This is going to be an interesting weekend.
I'm just going to get a right shoeing when I get to Cardiff. And all the Welsh boys going.
Tina's asking, do you think it's possible to do a river cruise without having to fly out? Yes, you could, because you could get the Eurostar.
Yeah.
A lot of river cruises go from Amsterdam, and that's easy.
Yeah.
So,
or you can get the ferry, and then you start in your cruise early.
I would get the Eurostar. And life at the Baths in Wales. So yes, we do like regardless of what Paul says, we've got lots of lovely Welsh friends, and we do enjoy our time.
Carole knows I'm joking.
Yes.
I've got loads and loads and loads of Welsh friends.
Yeah.
And years ago we used to do some house sitting, and we spent tons of time in Cardiff. And if you said to me now, if you wanted to go for a weekend away anywhere in the UK, whether it be all boys together or couples or whatever, and you want plenty to do and you don't want to spend a king's ransom, Cardiff is one of the best destinations, in my humble opinion.
I'm just going to that one there. Anyway, so Ken's asking, did you suffer the same tax issue on Celebrity? No, we didn't, did we? On Celebrity Beyond.
No.
So
no, and we had a drinks pack.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
we had an all-included Celebrity do their all-included fare, and we had and no, we didn't have any taxes. So that's bizarre. That's a good point, actually, Ken. So of course, Alfie's in London. London said that takes us hour and 20.
Yeah, but Alfie, I bet you drive like a
lunatic.
Tires squealing all the way up on two wheels.
Let's have a look. Yeah, like we just said, you get a river cruise Fred Olsen, which we've just been saying, that's going to like Honfleur. Yeah, that's a good point too. So thanks for that. And Rhonda said about tax up packages should include them and should be applied to services such as delivery costs.
No, well, not on Carnival. It was the drinks package was $400 each, and on top of that was just under $160, which they added for my convenience for gratuities. And then when we were in certain ports, we got charged tax. And the tax ranged from anything from like 50 cents, 60 cents, 70 cents, and like up to $5 or $6. So
it was.
I think they, in the old Paulie Morgan expression, they pulled our pants down and smacked our bottoms.
Exactly. Let's just time's are ticking. Let me just have a scroll down. So did you? So Chris is asking, this is a good point, because when you book a cruise, you don't always get to the ports that you've booked. So she's saying, how do you deal with changes to your ports of call that you're really disappointed with? We've had 3 changes on next cruise. I'm thinking we may just stay on board and enjoy the ship. Yeah, it's a gutting when you have that done. It's a difficult one. When we've been to ports that we've been to, or we've had them changed to ports that we know and we've been before, and we don't want to do any more exploring, we do stay on the ship. And actually, that's a great experience because you have the whole ship to yourself. Or you decide to say, do you know what? We're at this port, but it's really close to somewhere else that's about 40, 50 miles down the road, and you do an excursion to somewhere a little bit further afield. So,
because like if you're in Rotterdam, you can easily get the train to Amsterdam.
Yeah,
and like The Hague and places like that are all quite close to it as well. So there's lots of stuff you can do depending on what port it is. But yeah, it is. I mean, we did an itinerary where we went to Guernsey, and everybody said to us, "Well, don't even think about going to Guernsey," because I've been on 4 cruises where Guernsey was on the itinerary, and we've never been there yet.
Well, because it's a tender port.
Because it's a tender
and
port.
It gets really rough.
And we had it on our itinerary. And we went there, and it was, using the pun, plain. It was plain sailing, it wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
It was plain
and
sailing.
We had a fab time there. Very nice little place.
Jim's asking about hotels in Southampton. When you book your hotels, do you book them yourselves, or do you get Dan to book them on your behalf. Dan would happily book them on our behalf, but we book them ourselves, so just one night stays, etc., before a cruise. But he could do that all with a cruise package if that's what you're looking for. And fancy the Holiday Inn. Where have you stayed?
The Holiday Inn, if you're doing a cruise that's 7 days or more, the Holiday Inn is a great choice because it's usually about £200 for the night, and that includes your parking, and they taxi you to the port, and then as soon as you get back, you phone a number and they come and pick you up and take you back to the hotel. Your car's looked after and it's safe. CPS and ABP or whatever,
CPS,
which again is all secure
they're very
parking,
expensive.
But they're like a 7-day cruise now is about £140 to park. So if you factor in that, so say we got it for less than 200 last time, but £200 ballpark figure for Holiday Inn, that means you're getting to stay at the Holiday Inn for about 50 or 60 quid. And the last time we stayed there, that also includes breakfast.
Yeah.
So it's going to cost you 10 or 12 quid for a breakfast at most places. So it was like spending less than 40 quid. We've
stayed at Leonardo, Premier Inn, Moxie, quite a few in Southampton, and I put together a post on our website with all the videos in there of all the hotels we've stayed at. We've done Ibis, something both budget, and so take a look at that, Jim, and just Google Paul and Carole Loves to Travel Southampton hotels, and it'll come up. Or just go to our website; it's easy to find. So because there is a great prices of Southampton hotels go up crazily. I would always advise when you know you're going to Southampton, try and lock in your hotel in advance, because they do get booked up and their prices do fluctuate. If you see a price that you like, book it, because
definitely
it's been,
and if you what I find with a Holiday Inn as well, maybe because I'm a technophobe, but when you go on to book it seems quite complicated to book the parking and the stay. So I always phone, and they sort it straight out. And the last time we went, we even said to one of the ladies on reception, "Oh, fair play, you obviously had a big refurb. That room we're in, blah 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 blah." And they said, "Oh no, we hadn't had a refurb for ages, and our room was fantastic, wasn't it?"
Yeah, it was
really nice.
Was really good. And you get great views of the ports, so you can see the ships coming in, and it's central, right by West Quay. You can't go wrong with the Holiday Inn. Actually, it's got a great bar area, good breakfast. So I was asking, love the channel. Thank you very much. We are going on our own to yours. What's your opinion on Wi-Fi charge and quality? P&O Wi-Fi is not the best. Do you have phone signal? If you have a package or your phone provider covers Norway, and ours is Sky, and we paid £2 a day while we were there, didn't we?
Well, this is how bad the Wi-Fi was the first time we went on Iona. We booked it for the week. After 2 days, I went to reception. "Well, can I help, sir?" "Yeah, I want to talk to you about the Wi-Fi." And she just looked at me. I said, "It's rubbish, isn't it? And I don't want to pay for it." And as I was saying this, she was already refunding. She said, "Oh, I've taken that off for you."
The guys we were with in February did have, some of them had it, and it was hit and miss. So if you're relying on it for work, etc., it doesn't. But we don't tend to with P&O, do we?
No.
So Chris is saying Dan is easy to talk to. He's lovely. So thank you.
And that's why Carole speaks to him about 4 hours every day.
No, I don't. Let's have a look.
Have you spoken to him today?
Sean's asking, would you get Dan on the guests on your live? Yes, do you know, funny you should say that, Sean, is because we're meeting up with Dan. We're heading to Las Vegas, and before that, we're going to visit my aunt and uncle, my dad's sister. They live in Kent, and Dan's from that area, and we're meeting up. And I said to him, when we meet up, it would be good to arrange another time when we got more time, because we're only going to be meeting for some dinner, to get him to get live on our show, because he's full of lots of useful information. That we would definitely be doing.
Fabulous idea. So if you're watching, Dan, or as a good idea of mine, to get Dan on.
Dan and I have already talked about it, and he's up for it.
Yeah, well, that's it.
Janet's saying, very interesting stories. I agree with the ABC Island. They are lovely.
Am I allowed to be on that live with you and Dan?
Yes, of course you are.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
We'll have to say to put guests on, but I'm sure we'll sort it out.
Yeah.
And then chocolate covered waffle on a stick. Oh.
Well, you'll appreciate this because I know you do your own brewing, but I had a chocolate beer, and it wasn't the future, but it was so strong.
It was. You just had one beer, felt a bit
Oh
squiffy,
my God.
didn't you?
Well, when it came out and had a picture of the devil on there, I thought, well, obviously, is that some sort of logo? But after I drank about half a pint of it, and it was like, I felt like Lieutenant Dan out of Forrest Gump. Like I couldn't use my legs anymore.
Yeah, I know. Spencer saying, can't get enough of you too. Oh, thank you. I've been on a cruise yet, but feel like I've through this channel. We'll solo cruise soon, hopefully. Oh, that's lovely to hear. Thank you, Spencer. So let's have a look. So we've got a few more minutes left, so that's good. Andrea's. So answer for Paul. When Kyomu, Queen and Maiden Voyage, they cancelled all the cruises that were due to take place prior to the revised Maiden Voyage date.
There you go. Thank you.
The
very
one
much,
person's
Andrea.
cover that we were quite disappointed. We wanted to do the Maiden, but it was literally going from Southampton to Lisbon, and now they've put in another port, and I've forgotten it. I was just about to say it's gone. That's not very helpful, is it?
I didn't.
But I was hoping it was going to go to Liverpool because I thought that's quite iconic, isn't it? Cunard, Liverpool, Southampton. And you're looking at me strangely.
I don't know.
So.
I don't like them. I don't like any maiden voyages that visit Liverpool because after that they usually sink, don't they? It was like, that's where the Titanic went, mate.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Lou said I saw the Northern Lights as a kid in Ohio, one of those rare times. Yeah, we were talking to Kev, one of our patrons, and he lives in Canada near Banff, and he was saying that we were talking about all his have them all the time. Very blessed if you live in somewhere.
He looks out the window, Northern Lights again, just draws the curtains.
Yes. But we're hoping. Well, we are. We're not hoping. We're booked to visit Banff later in the year. So.
Simon Walker asking, are we on the Morella Voyager?
We are. We
Yes,
are on the Maiden Voyage.
We're on the Maiden. Or not, as the case may be.
Well, so everyone's having Indian takeaways. Look, snap. Korma for me, Madras for Chris.
Yeah. Chris. Oh, yes. Does he wash it down with that? What was that wine when he got into trouble?
Oh, what was the red wine? Renegade. Was it Renegade?
And 4 pints of Renegade for Chris.
Yeah, just talking about the Caribbean. Yeah, I think you have to be very sensible. It's like anywhere you travel in the world, you just need to be sensible and know the areas that you're visiting and just be very security conscious. Paul's asking when we're going on Arvia. No plans yet, but we would like to, wouldn't we?
Yeah, definitely. Well, like I said, I was bigging them up earlier, saying they got some good deals. So who knows?
And Andy and Christine, the Cotswold, we're currently enjoying Chocolate Angel Delight. God, I haven't had Angel Delight for years. Oh, but that's nice.
Oh, I think I was still at school the last time I had Angel Delight. So that's over 20 years ago.
We'll have to get some. Just whip it up in it. It was easy. You just added water, didn't you? And whipped it up.
Was it milk?
Was it milk? Maybe.
Probably milk. I can't believe it was water.
Don't know. Lou said we're doing the Christmas market on Avalon on the Danube. I think you two did that last year. We did Avalon on the Rhine, but we loved Avalon.
But it wasn't Christmas.
But it wasn't Christmas. Oh, you're in for a treat there then, Lou. That's lovely. So, oh, and Lou saying, guys, oh, that's a shame. So it would have been lovely to have met you. You're on the Oceania Med cruise. So, and Rosemary is saying, so glad you're feeling better. I've watched nearly all your videos and told my husband about you. That he now says to me right there. Let's have a look because we're nearly. Let me just scroll right down because we've got so many questions. So I'm ever so sorry if we haven't got to any. Yeah, and Daft Cats. Oh, it was milk. Thanks. Oh, Philippa's here. Hi, Philippa. Thank you.
Don't mention
Jerry is asking, quiz question for Paul. If the answer is Zanzibar, what's the question?
Where did Freddie Mercury come from?
Is he right? Yes, he did come from there, didn't he? Oh, let us
Come
know,
on,
Jerry.
let
Come
me
on.
know.
Alfie had Angel Delight 2 nights ago.
Oh
my God.
Is it just us? We're like in a
we?
parallel universe where you're all out there scoffing your faces with Indian
and we haven't had
takeaways
tea yet.
and Angel's Delight.
Oh.
And we've got nothing. I got an empty Coke can, and I just remembered I got a can of Thatcher's Gold in the fridge. I might have to have a taste of it.
Well, I think you'll be having enough alcohol on the weekend, Paulie
we're
Morgan.
going with the cruise monkeys. We won't have any drink at all.
Trees, hello, a bit late. This is my first on my live channel. Greetings from Holland. Hi there,
hello.
Trees. Nice to see you here. And we're asking about Vegas. We're going in end of April. It's my sister's 60th birthday trip. So
Scroll down. I want to see if I got the question right.
scroll down.
Come on, Jerry. Put me out of my misery.
Maureen's having banana angel delight.
Well, in all
brilliant.
fairness, what was
Come on, Jerry.
what was
Well done, Paul. Yes. You've won a pint of cup Thatcher's dry.
what was
Brilliant.
what was somebody said they're going to buy me a pint of Margaret Thatcher's?
Yes, that's right.
That was quite random. But what was the random thing that came up last time we were talking about?
Green Shield stamps.
Green Shield stamps. So tonight we got
Angels Delight. Last week or the week before it was.
No, I got to be honest. I'm going
butterscotch.
No,
don't know.
I always find butterscotch a bit like on your throat, but chocolate.
Do you know? I don't think I've ever had it.
I have. I've had butterscotch.
And Peggy's found us through the Cruise and Connect first time here. So hi, Peggy.
Hi,
Thanks
Peggy.
for joining us. And a +1 for butterscotch. Oh, brilliant. Oh, it's nearly an hour's up. So thank you so much for everyone for joining us. What a great hour. Do you know, Paul and I say, we got live on Thursday. We thoroughly enjoy doing these. And we love the community that we've got in the comments. So thank you all so much for joining us. Apologies that we haven't got through to all the questions. It's just impossible in an hour, isn't it?
So the next question is, before I go, somebody get typing now. Who makes Angel's Delight now? Because I'm trying to think who it used to be, but who makes it now?
Don't know.
It's meant to be like Kraft or something, I don't know, or Procter and Gamble. They make everything, don't they?
Don't know. Let us know. Renata, another super live. You're both looking well. Looking for your tonight. Oh, thanks, Renato. Renato comments a lot. Jack's having butterscotch and strawberry.
Well, you're just showing off now, Jack. You must have what
birds. Sandra says it's birds. Of course it is birds,
yeah.
Isn't it? Oh, brilliant.
If you're having, let me tell you, when I was a kid, you knew if your mum had a glut of milk. But bearing in mind, in my youth, my father was a milkman, and if you had loads of milk left over, you'd be having Angel Delight for breakfast, dinner, and tea for like a week because you've got to use this milk up. Because I don't want any more Angel Delight.
And Alfie's saying butterscotch best, but chocolate went with the little oranges.
Ooh. Oh, mandarins. What, tinned mandarins? Oh, this has took a turn now, Alfie, I'll tell you.
Oh, my God.
Oh, no, it is.
And Marianne said, I wear it Google watching these today to Google Angels Delight. Right then. So thank you so much for everyone joining us. We've had a fab time as usual.
And if anybody at Birds is watching, if you want to DM us, I can give you our address because of all this free advertising you've
and we can post it out to all our fans. Or you're just thinking eating it yourself?
Obviously.
And for the Americans, Angel Delight is a powdered form of pudding. Exactly that, Andrew. It's just add milk and it comes up like a mousse. So it's just like a
But not a mousse that you find in Canada.
No.
That's a totally different mousse.
That's true. Anyway, we've got to go now, isn't it? So so thanks ever so much for everyone that's been here. It's been a pleasure as always, and we will see same time next week.
It's been fabulous.
And let's see who can bring up the most random thing next week. We've had Green Shoe Stamps, Angel Delight. What will next week
and I'm
bring?
going to go on Uber Eats to see if anybody will deliver me some Angel's Delight.
Right then, bye for now. Cheers all.